Hello, welcome to another episode of the show. This one is about my 20mm Falklands project and how it's progressing. What I've started working on is a troop from 22 SAS. Although, having said that, it can be used for any of the UK Special Forces units involved in the conflict. So what I'll do, we'll get down to the bench, do a brief description and what my thoughts initially are on how I'm going to sort the figures out for the unit, and have a look at where it's progressing. Right, so here we've got a couple images taken of D Squadron during the war, and this is the sort of look I was wanting for the figures for the unit. This image, I think, was taken on board Hermes just before they were launching on and off. And this image is D Squadron, obviously up in the hills. Really nice picture. You can see the weapon mix and the look of the guys. Interestingly, the centre bloke, he's got what I think is a Stinger missile sticking out the top of his Bergen. But all good stuff, really nice picture. Right folks, so here we've got what I've done so far. As I mentioned earlier, I've basically gone for a troop organisation and a troop in the SAS at the time. 16 men and a small command team, normally commanded by a captain. I've organised it as the 16 men into 4 patrols of 4 men each. I've went for a fairly generic organisation, so looking from the patrols run this way. So we've got a leader figure, a guy with a GPMG, trooper with either ER15, M16 or an SLR, and then we'll have a guy, a little bit of support with the M16, M203 combination. So what I find with figures is I like to have them fairly identifiable. So I tend to do the NCO leader figure with either a hand up or doing some form of hand signal, so on the table he's easily identifiable. These are all Liberation miniatures figures, the castings, which I really like. Available online. I'll put a link in the video description. Really nice figures. I've used them for years and years and years, and I just like them. So going through them, this figure here, let's see if I can get it to focus. Obviously a leader figure, guy with a woolly hat on, and an M16. I've mounted them. This is the standard way I mount 20mm figures. It's on a some sort of paper fastening device that I've picked up years ago. It's a very thin metal disc. I think they're around about 16mm, I think, across, and I just like the proportion of the base to the 20mm figure. Works really well, and it allows you to get them in things like entrenchments and inside buildings without having a huge base. The Liberation figures, I think these are from the Falklands Special Forces pack. What I wanted is I wanted them in the Arctic smock, the Arctic windproof, which is hooded. Now this figure is actually, as you can see, has got the sort of the hood already sculpted on. Some of them haven't, and as a result I've just done a little bit conversion work with green stuff. So we'll go through this first patrol first. So that was that's the NCO leader guy. Guy with the GPMG. With this figure, Liberation, I don't know whether it's a sculpting issue or whether it's a casting issue. On GPMGs, they tend to not have the muzzle brake on. So as you can see, I'll bring it up a little bit closer. I've added the flash eliminator, just a little bit of plastic rod. I've also added a belt of ammunition with green stuff. And on this figure, you can see I've added a green stuff hood to convert the combat jacket he was wearing into a smock. As I've said, they're really nice figures. I've always liked them. They paint up really well, and they're just one of my favourites. You've obviously got to go with your gut and what you like, and you know I've always liked these. So that's the GPMG gunner. Next up, we've got this guy's got a trooper. This guy's got an SLR. Seeing nothing really to do, a great deal to do to this figure. They tend to have a combination of belt order webbing on, which is sort of ideal for the SAS, for UK Special Forces at the time. Really nice. And this last guy is an example with the M16 203 combination. Quite a distinctive looking weapon, and they've captured it well. Again, this is had a green stuff hood added. Basing wise, what I tend to do, just to let you know, with these metal bases, glue the figure on, then I use a little bit of milliput to blend the cast base onto the disc, and then it's just a case of putting my preferred grit choice on. I think this is I think this might just be beach sand. You can use the very fine ballast from Woodland Scenics. I use that on occasion to get a little bit difference in the sort of grade of the grit. And this is how I sort of get the figures off initially, get them based before I start the painting process. So looking further back, these are some more of the leader figures. Quite a nice figure here with his hand up doing a halt signal. Again, hood on with green stuff. This guy with kneeling with the GPMG, you can see the flash eliminator there that I've added. Ammunition belt and a hood. And progressing, this is quite one of my favourites. I've painted this guy a few times. Kneeling, looking over his shoulder with a ER-15 M16. Hood added on. This guy, I don't know if you can see on the casting, but he's actually got sort of stubble beard growth, which is perfect for what you want for the unit. Again, 16-203 combination. Kneeling guy. This leader here, he's got the known as the COD Commando, the shortened version of the M16 ER-15 before they turned it into things like M4s. Hood added in green stuff, really easy to do. For people who haven't tried conversions, all I'd say about it, especially basic stuff like this, it's really easy. You've just got to jump in, buy some green stuff, have a go. It is quite straightforward. I'll maybe do a video on how I've done it. There's a few little techniques and tips when using green stuff, but it's all fairly basic stuff. So this is the only guy in the unit I've got with a Bergen on. So M16 guy, little bit alteration, hood, ammunition belt, and you can see he's got the SAS Para Bergen on. Again, really nice figure, bareheaded, slightly longer hair, which works well for the unit. Another guy with the same with an SLR, hood already cast on, so very little to do to that. M16-203, the same with the woolly hat on, hood already cast on, good selection of belt order on the weapon. Really nice. I just really like these figures, as you've probably guessed from the way I'm going on about them. Last patrol now. Patrol leader with an SLR, hood added, and he's got the DPM cap on, known in the army, I'm sure any ex-serviceman, known as a twat hat or twat cap. Again, very little to do. A Jeep MG guy here. Ammo belt added, hood added. I've also, I don't know if you can see, I've added some, he was a little bit short on pouches. So green stuff pouches added. Fairly straightforward. And the paint up really nice. And the last two guys, standing guy with an M16, hood added. And the last guy, the troop, kneeling, crouching with the M16, M203 combination. So there we are. Next up, to progress the way I paint them is I'll be getting the bases painted and then basically priming the figures, getting them on the bottle tops, and starting the painting. I'll do a little bit description next on. I did a little bit of research, and there's a couple of book recommendations that I've got that I'll go to next. Right, so in relation to research book recommendations, this one you can see now, Cross an Angry Sea, the SAS and the Falklands War, by a guy called Cedric Delves, who was basically the commander of D Squadron 22 SAS during the conflict. Went on to command SAS at virtually all different levels. So it covers the whole involvement of the unit throughout the Falklands War. Can't recommend it enough. Really well written, and it's got some excellent descriptions, particularly of the South Georgia operation, and also the raid on Pebble Island. Really good. Definitely, if you're at all interested in the SAS's involvement in the conflict, this is the book to kick off with. Second one is by a guy called Mark Aston. He's also a D Squadron guy, and his book gives sort of an account from the trooper's perspective. That it's really good as well. Definitely worth reading. With it being the 40th anniversary this year as well, we're also getting quite a few publications coming out. There's been a recent one out on Goose Green, and there's also a book due out by another SAS guy on his involvement, and that's imminent. I think that's due to be published in April. So there's lots of good stuff coming. Right, so that's where we are with the SAS Troop at the moment. As I've said, I'll be kicking off with the painting next. Just in relation to the figures, Liberation, they have got a website. I'll put the, as I've said, I'll put the link in the description. One thing that is worth mentioning, they haven't got sort of an online ordering system. However, having said that, if you go to the link, the guy who runs the company, Rolf Hedges, really nice guy, very easy to deal with. It's a case of checking his available times, the days and the times, which is on the website, giving him a ring and just ordering over the phone. I've never had an issue with it. You always get the stuff. As I say, there's an app. He does a huge range of stuff in 20mm. Definitely worth looking at. Highly recommend it. So that's where we are. If you've enjoyed the video, please like it. Any questions, post a message on the video. Have a look on my blog. There's loads and loads and loads of Falklands stuff on there. Have a good troll through that. and we'll go from there. If you haven't subscribed, subscribing is a very good idea. You obviously, standard thing with YouTube, you get notified when there's a new video released, and it obviously it gives me an incentive to if I know people are enjoying it and subscribing it, to continue. The subscription button is normally at the end of the video on the right hand side of the screen, masquerading as I've said before, as an Empress Miniatures modern British infantryman. Okay, so thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.